Hey, 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 here we go again. Got both of my boys together again, Jordan and Joshua. He's back from saving the world. To set it straight here on Setting It Straight with Fam. Man, what a game. I must say, eating crow is not good, especially when Thanksgiving is so close. But them boys, they sure served a mean dish for us last Sunday. But here's the thing. Who was to blame for that insane loss? Was it McCarthy or was it Dak? What do we need to do to fix it? We could be talking about that. And I guess the most important question is, can it be fixed? Because Dak seemed to be playing right in the critics' path of not being that guy. And mostly we want him to be that guy. But, and McCarthy is not running plays in the red zone that are anyway close to effective. I mean, I don't know what is that all about. But now we're up against the same, at least not more sound running game in the Cardinals. In the Patriots, and I'm trying to figure out what we need to figure out. Is this a one-off for our defense? Because don't tell me that we don't have the most powerful, the most stout, the talented defense in this league. Don't. I will not lay down. I will not falter to give the critics that we are not that defense. I'm not having it. I am surely not having it. Because we are that guy. So dang it, boys, you better grab the chalkboard and scrabble and some Austin Power mojo, baby, and stop this madness, cause this is insane. But before we get started, and I know we got to start this, this podcast like we always do, and that asking that great question, and that question is how about them Cowboys? That's right. Okay, guys. All right. Here's a question, Jordan. You've seen the game against the Cardinals. Looking into your crystal ball, you know what I'm saying? What is your takeaway? Is this game a future picture of the rest of the season? Let me know. What you think?
Man, I gotta come on here because them Cowboys made me eat crow. Hats off to the Cardinal fans. Applause. Y'all came in there. Y'all did your thing, even with your backup quarterback Joshua Dobbs, a journeyman in this NFL league. I had to eat a slice of humble pie because I was talking reckless at the end of our podcast last week, and I was saying that, the defense is going to go in here and probably put up 14 points. They can rest all of our players. None of our O-line needs to be in the game. Guess what? Most of our O-line weren't in this game, and it showed. So I got to take all of that back and give the Cardinals all the respect. I did say the Cardinals always play us hard. They always play like we're a division team. I think they hold like a little grudge out there. I don't know what it is, but yeah, the Cowboys got smacked in the mouth, and we talked about it, about our offensive woes, and I said I still don't believe in this offense quite particularly yet. Right now, at this point of the season, I don't believe in Mike McCarthy's system. I know he wants to run the ball more, and technically, statistically, he is running the ball more. But is it really? Is he running the ball effective? Is he scheming the ball effectively? To put us in good positions and not just running the ball to have, to fill that stat. Is he really doing what he needs to do to put Dak in a good position? I truly and honestly feel like no. I mean, we're 1 for 5 in this game in the red zone. I think we'll pull it up in a minute. I believe we were 1 for 5 or maybe 2. What was it? Well, in terms of touchdowns, I don't know. We were in the red zone a lot last week. We didn't capitalize on touchdowns versus the Jets.
We was there a lot.
Yeah, we was there a lot, and we settled with field goals. But that was mainly because we were up in that game. And this game we were not up. So, yeah, when your defense isn't on, and we can probably, the way the game is designed now, defenses might not be on every single game, and you got to rely on your offense to win you some games. This is one of those games where you gotta rely on your offense to win you some games. When I run down on like what happened, it quite doesn't make sense. What happened because when you look, we had 26 first downs. Cardinals had 20. Um, we had what was it? We were 9 for 16 on third downs, which is not that efficient. Cardinals were 5 for 10 on third downs. We had a total of 416 yards, and then so the Cardinals had a total of 400. But here's some of the things: is like we had like 13 penalties. We
Jeez, one
had
game. One game.
one game. We were 1 for 5 in the red zone, right? Our total, what was it? Yards per play, we were 5.5. The Cardinals were 7.5. We weren't, our defense wasn't getting takeaways. We didn't have any takeaways this time around. We had like 2 sacks on the quarterback, so we weren't able to. They weren't able to pin their ears back and just go tackle the ball. Why? Because they were up. So they were able to capitalize on that run game. So we can't just sit there. They weren't getting pass happy because they were behind, right? And it's crazy because we had a time of possession for us that we won was 34 minutes and 33 seconds, and the Arizona Cardinals was 25 minutes and 27 seconds. So it's like I don't know Mike McCarthy. I don't know Dak. I don't know. It was just a mixture of bad coaching and bad quarterback play, especially at the end of that game when Dak needs to, go on that drive to make it competitive, but he throws a pick and then, Cardinals get the ball back and, run the clock and the rest is history. So
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that we had more time of possession in this game last week than the
yep,
Cardinals?
yep, yeah, 34, 25. Mm-hmm.
So
26 first downs to 20. Mm-hmm.
so
Third down is yeah.
right. So we took all of that time to come all the way down the field, then getting into the end zone. I mean red zone and lay an egg. So we waste all that time. We waste all of that time of getting down the field, but we couldn't get into the end zone.
The first quarter, 3 points. Second quarter, 7 points. Third quarter, 3 points. Fourth quarter, 3 points. Like you're doing all this. You have 5 total trips and in the red zone. Once you got to the red zone, and 3 points. So yeah, Connor, the running back, he did his thing. He put up a whopping 22 yards on us. I, I don't know what to say. Like I was baffled. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Well,
Uh,
at one point, you think that you could look at that, as a good thing. Like we are able to move the ball down the field. I mean, if there's any silver lining to this, I guess you can say we are able to move the ball. I mean, down the field, maintain a good, you know, um, maintain a good division of running, passing play to get down the field. But then we lay an egg as soon as we get to the door. Can't get in. So, Joshua,
yeah.
what you think about that?
All right, so I think this goes back to the back to what you guys were saying in regards to who was at fault here. I think it starts with all the coaching because I just don't believe that the Cowboys adequately prepared to win the game. So in that perspective, I mean, it goes from the beginning of the game when the Cowboys won the toss and they deferred, right? So if the mantra, if you will, or the game plan is to score points so that way it puts pressure on the offense to pass the ball, then we would the Dallas Cowboys went totally against that direction. They decided to put their defense first, right? So to the point where they, in my mind, it almost seems like they believed that they were going to be down um in the second half or in the third quarter, so that they needed that time to get needed that time to score up, right? So the game plan was atrocious in the offensive perspective. It seemed like which I wouldn't say atrocious, but I would say their game plan or their plays were set for quick plays, right? So in the sense that they knew that their offensive line can hold up very well because they were playing with backups, right? So they were doing the short game, right? And not only that, the penalties were bad, right? So not only do you have an O line that can't hold and can't pass protect as good as the first strings, right? But now you're pinning them back, and now you're forcing them to try to do a more of a pass protection, if you will. And what's going to happen is either your quarterback's going to get sacked, hurt, or there's going to be a penalty, and that's pretty much, at least for two of those three, was happening, right? So, and as far as the defense goes, the run game is something that the other teams are going to start taking a look at, right? So they're like, all right, all we got to do is run it between the G gap, and we should be home free, right? So the Cowboys have to game plan for that. They have to shore up their defense. They have to figure out a way how to stop that, because if they don't stop that, other teams are going to take that from the other games, and they're going to implement that into their game plan, and that's not going to be good, right? So if the mantra is scoring first and keeping the offense at bay, then maybe change your game plan, hire offensive linemen, or get better defensive players. I don't know what this game was all about, to be honest with you. So maybe this is like one of those outliers that, the what the heck type games, and they're gonna move forward from that game, and hopefully it's an eye opener and a slice of humble pie, so that way they can play better in the upcoming game,
You
which I
know,
believe.
right? That make a lot of sense, and I didn't think of it that way. That the fact that, which kind of makes sense, that because of the injuries that we had on the O line, they know we weren't going to be able to push the ball, so they actually focus on short plays, like you was just talking about, and just thinking about that, that's probably why we were so successful in managing time of possession, because we getting the ball out of Dak's hand really quick, short plays. So we was inching down the field. That's why it took, that's why we had the ball, because that was successful. It's just that once we got no field to play, because now we don't have the full field as our advantage of being able to, get people to, the safeties to come up or back up or whatever the case is. Now we got a short field and try to move, which is the red zone, the most important part. We weren't able to be successful. But as far as coming down the field, as having our short plays, it makes sense that we were successful on managing the ball or coming down the field. It's just that when we have a short field, we couldn't succeed. So now that you brought up about the injuries, are those same guys still out, or they coming back in? What do you guys know about the injuries that we have on the O-line? What's going on with that?
All right, so Tyron Smith is out for next game. Tyron Smith is out. Biotis is going to be back. Tyler Smith is going to be back. So Tyler Smith, Tyler Biotis, Zach Martin should be back, and Terrence Steele should be back. So the only outlier is going to be Tyron Smith. So I think we're going to have Adoga back on left tackle. So, which is not ideal, given the fact that you have Judon playing defensive, Matthew Judon playing defensive end on the other side. So, and he's primarily on the right side, or our left side, or the offense's left side. So, keep your eye on that. They're probably going to have a tight end on the left just to help out. One thing I can tell you about Mike McCarthy, he's not like Jason Garrett, where they're going to hope and pray that the left tackle that's put in place and hope that they pass protect right. They're going to make sure that the quarterback's protected, so they'll scheme things so that way the quarterback is protected, and they'll probably push a lot of things to the right. So I can see that happening.
Okay, but do you think Dak is going to? Do you think Dak played safe, or you know, this past? Because I see some plays that I was
With
watching, and I was like, dude, why you go that side, or whatever the case is. Do you think Dak is still playing handicap in a sense that is he playing is he his biggest defense trying to open up in the game, or he just going along with whatever's being played called?
so I'm going to give this back to you, Jordan, in a second, but I'll say this: yes and no, right? So I don't think he's playing scared, but he's more or less giving what the defense gives him, like to like a how should I say this, to an extreme standpoint, right? And so to the point where he's checking down, and some of these plays, right? They're not meant to have receivers on the outside open. They're mainly used for like the wheel routes and short slants, because you can see some of these wide receivers. They're not even scheme. They're not even trying to get open. They're just seems like they're just placeholders, so that way, you know, the underneath route can go out. So I just believe though, because it's gonna be a little different this next game. I think they're gonna this will be more of a chess match. I don't think that they're gonna be more handicap, but I do believe though this last game there was a little bit more handicap going on, and I think that has to do with more of the play calling, but I think it also has to do with Dak too,
But
right?
Jordan,
So
right. But Jordan, didn't don't we have a better offensive wideouts now that's what we did. We went and got these folks, so we don't have to play that type of game. We can be more aggressive with the offense. I mean, with the receivers now, or either that, or our receivers we have really is not that good, and we just have just CeeDee Lamb. That's what we said.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a combination of. I feel like it's more so the coaching and Mike McCarthy, because if you look at all the post interviews of last how the season ended and everything Mike McCarthy said, him throwing, shade at Kellen Moore, talking about we need to run the ball more. And even in this game, Pollard had 23 carries for like 122 yards. But when we're down, how does that help the offense move the ball? That's probably why we have time of possession, because we're running the ball, right? And Pollard is jacking up yards, but the clock is working against us at that point. And so that goes to show you how the coaches and how I think Mike McCarthy is. He's trying to keep the ball out of Dak's hands as much as possible, but you still let Dak throw the ball for 45 attempts, but it doesn't translate well. So I don't know. Like I agree with Josh. I feel like we need to take the ball and we need to start early. We need to put the other team, our opponents, behind the eight ball, and so that can relieve some pressure from our defense, and they can do what they do best, which is get pressure uh, on the quarterback, on their offense. That way we can get those turnovers, having rush throws and stuff like that. I feel like that was kind of the lack, when you can put us in a position. And hats off to the Cardinals, because they forced us into that position, right? We gave up 44 yards to Dobbs, and then another 44 yards to Randall Moore, right? And they were just hitting us going up the middle. So, it was like we got these big dogs. We got what's his name? Our draft pick that we got and then traded for last year. Can't think of either of their names. Watkins and Mozzie. So we got these big dogs, but I don't know. They just weren't prepared for that going up against the Cardinals. But I don't know. Like with this offense, yeah, technically we're supposed to be better because Brandon Cooks is our upgrade. They didn't want to go out and secure another receiver. Even though they have Gallup and trade talks, right? It's another getting into front office things, and it's just more frustration for me because when you start bringing up the front office, it's like, okay, you got Cooks, but in today's, that's not enough. Like we were talking about last week, Dad. Like if Cooks goes down, who's up? You're just relying on CD Lamb. Gallup, even though Gallup had a good game in a long time, 6 catches for 92 yards, I don't want to see that on my stat sheet. Gallup, 6 catches for 92 yards. I'm trying to see CD Lamb, 6 catches for 120 yards, but they took CD away. And so I have no clue on what we do, the tight ends.
Right. How many touchdowns did Dak threw against Arizona?
I threw one touchdown and had one
One
pick.
touchdown. See, this is what again. I'm going against because I want to be a Dak guy, but our reality is Dak is not doing it. He's not doing it. I try to give Dak all of the credit, and all of the push up because I'm a Dak guy.
Let's pause it. I know you're going to go into a little bit of Dak Finally, which I agree he didn't play his best, but it is a new system, right? It is a new offensive coordinator and technically the new Mike McCarthy, right? I don't know, because if this was Kellen Moore, and games like this, Dak does usually well in. It's the playoffs where I have questions on Dak's.
Well, we haven't reached the playoffs yet, and I'm having questions. But go ahead.
Exactly.
I feel like they took a lot of control, a lot of the audibles that Dak will make. I feel like they took that away from him coming into these last few games. I feel like just looking at it on the field, I don't know if one, he's not comfortable in the offense yet. Two, he doesn't have full control over the offense because it was Kellen Moore. So and Kellen Moore came out and said sometimes Dak's audibles out of the run. Right, so that's why I didn't have.
Hold on, answer this. Where do you see Dak right now? Top what quarterbacks of NFL? Where do you put him at? No.
Still top 10.
He top 10 for you. He top 10 to you.
So, yeah, okay. So obviously he didn't play like top 10. I mean, I agree with Jordan. He didn't play like a top 10, right? I get it, but like how much are we not putting? Are we saying he still should play like a top 10 with no O line at all? Like.
Man, if he's top 10, he's top 10. O-line or not. At least we would know that if it was an O-line problem, we have eyes. We can see, dude, it was an O-line problem. But when you're not making the plays, when you see that the plays that he could have made wasn't made, then who you going to put that on? You know what I'm saying? It's like the last play we saw when he threw on 3 covered receiver. That wasn't an O-line problem. That was a Dak problem. Seamlessly, I'm going to have to go give Batman my Dakman kickback because this dude ain't playing like I wanted him to play. And I'm the first to be talking to everyone like, man, it's not Dak. Dude, it's the O-line. Last year, dude, it's not Dak. It's the receivers, drop passes. They made it bad for Dak. I'm the Dak biggest fan. I'm standing against being ridiculed and fighting against for this guy. But then I look on Sunday this season, and I'm like, come on, man, you that guy. You got to make things happen. Run the ball when stuff doesn't working. You got to take over. I'm sorry, he has to take over, and that's not what he's doing.
You put on my Dak tape and be a Dak homer. He is still arms and legs better than head and shoulders better than a lot of these other. The only reason Dak gets criticized,
I agree.
The only reason Dak gets criticized as much as he gets criticized is because he plays for Dallas Cowboys, which we all understand. Like that's gonna come just like when you play for the Lakers, you're gonna get scrutinized way more than anybody
But I'm
else.
not talking about everybody else scrutinized. I'm talking about me, what I see of him being on my team or our team.
I understand that, but you have to put it in perspective, right? I get the fact that he's the quarterback of the team that you're talking about, right?
That's right.
But you have to put it in perspective, right? Like, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that he's the best. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that I don't see what's happened in this last game or previous games or whatever like that, right? So, right, I just think that because of the fact that they weren't converting the touchdowns, right, like they should have for this one game, right, I do believe that a lot of people are saying, well, Is this the Dak that we're going to see for the future? And I don't believe that, right? There was a lot of circumstances for this game, right? There's a lot. Now, if this happens for the next 2 or 3 games, then this probably needs to be a conversation. Like, hey, you know,
I'm hoping we don't
but
have this
right
conversation.
now, right now, I just believe that.
I'm praying we don't have this conversation.
Right now,
Well,
yeah, and I agree
let's.
with you. Like right now, one that you can't put all the blame on Dak for being 1 for 5 in the red zone. You can't put all the blame for Dak for a total of the season, as we stand right now, being 40% in the red zone. That's coaching. That's just coaching. I don't care who's out there. That's coaching. Like the not being able to figure out how to get the ball in the red zone when you did not have this issue last year. Dak was on that same squad last year, and arguably you can make the argument that this offensive might be better than last year's offense, or vice versa. You know, because the only few players we
On
lost
paper.
is Zeke on paper, is Zeke and the tight end and the tight end. That's
And
basically
Kellen
everything.
and we had Kellen Moore. That's right. Go ahead.
And Moore, right, as an offensive coordinator, but Mike McCarthy was still on that coaching staff.
Yeah, but he
So,
wasn't playing making plays. But go ahead.
so that's what I'm saying. Dak was still had the best offensive red zone last year versus this year. So to me, that looks like coaching. That doesn't look like a Dak issue. That looks like a coaching issue. I feel like, and Dak didn't have a pre. They don't put these guys in the preseason games to let them, like Josh likes to say, let them run a full offense, let them get that mojo running. No, we came straight into the season with this. It's gonna probably take a little bit of ironing out, trying to figure out this new offense, trying to figure out how we're gonna what the schemes are gonna be. Like we said too, like it's not Dak. Dak's not calling the plays for Turpin to get the ball. And when Turpin goes and runs a reverse, when everybody knows that's not Dak, that's coaching. Like so,
Well,
I feel
yeah,
like
and that's still a stupid play. I don't know why we still run it, but go ahead.
that's what I'm saying. Like those are the things that's on Mike McCarthy and not Dak. Like yes, when it comes to game time situations where Dak had that drive, that's on Dak for throwing that pick.
Well. I've been hearing that Dak has more control now of the offense play calling. Even though he can make changes, right? He can make changes what he sees on the line. He can make those changes.
Yeah, look. Once again, yes, he can, but you're not. I feel like a lot of fans are not seeing the bigger picture here, right? He
A
did not
W
have
is the only picture I'm looking for. But go ahead.
right. Look, right, and so he had two of those, right, as opposed to two and one, right? So
Okay,
the
but
season's not
I'm not
lost,
blaming him. But
right?
go ahead.
So right, so I do believe when you have a O line that's not in any way, shape, or form the starters or the ideal what you had in the beginning, right? And then you top that off with penalties upon penalties.
Oh
And
yeah,
these are
that's
not
crazy.
penalties mostly on the defense. These are penalties mostly on the offense,
Yeah,
right? So if you're
which is
setting them
horrible.
back on 1st and 15, first and 20, right? It's that much harder to get that, especially with a horrible O line. I'm I mean, doesn't matter
I
what
get it.
quarterback it is. It doesn't matter what quarterback. I'm just saying, let's see, right? Let's see on next game, which it's. I mean, I know that's a very tall glass there because it's against Bill Belichick, but let's see what happens when it's next game when they have most of their own line. It seems when they have most of their own line, they seem to be scoring points.
Okay, what you about to say, Jordan?
You have two of your Hall of Fame O linemen out, Martin and Smith, Tyron Smith. You have Tyler Smith coming back off injury, even though he still played exceptional when you just look at his tape of the game. He did his job, but it's all those backups, like Josh saying. Even your starting center, Tyler Biotish, who's controlling that line, who might see things that, and point out to the other O line, point out to Dak, So you have those guys missing. So yeah, you you're playing Dak in a particularly look at Tom Brady when he gets pressure, right? He lose Super Bowls, like he lost the Giants twice. It happened.
He made it there, but go
So
ahead.
Yeah, he made it there, but I'm just saying, look what
Uh,
happens when you don't have a good O line or that
well,
defense.
but you made it to the Super Bowl. But go ahead.
Joe Burrow last year.
But
I mean,
but
against
what was the
you
game?
know like
What was the score for the Arizona game? What was the score?
16, 28.
28 something,
16 20 what?
28.
28. 16 28.
Hmm?
Okay, so we lost by 12 points.
Right.
Okay.
And you could argue that the field goal that Michael McCarthy settled for instead of just trying to score points, you could argue was that the right decision? But it might be the right decision because he can't figure out how to get the ball in the end zone in the red zone. So I don't know. I feel like it's 85% Mike McCarthy and 15% Dak at this point because we've seen it for the last two games going into
15%
next.
Dak? Okay.
Yeah, I said 15% Dak.
No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to give Dak a little bit more than that, but okay.
Where you saying 50%?
Because even I won't say 50. I'm not going to say 50. I am down on Dak, but I'm not that much down on Dak. But you talking about the O line not being good, but the O line get him to the red zone 5 times. That the O line we had playing the backups, they did get him to the O line. I mean, they did get him to the red zone, but for some reason we couldn't get over that. And I get it. Penalties make it really hard, but a couple of those plays I saw Dak, the Dak of old, before he got injured, obviously when he was running more, would have ran at least 2 of those inside into the end zone. But like you said, maybe he don't have that. Maybe he don't have that choice. Maybe he don't have that control that he can say, no, I'm keeping this ball. I'm going to the left here because everybody else, the whole line shift to the right. And that's where we went with the play, and then they get caught in the backfield. Like that happened like 3 times, right? So I'm like, okay, when does the top 10 quarterback talented player come to grips and say, you know what, I'm taking this game in my hands. Forget all this nonsense. I'm out here. I'm the captain. I'm running it in because there's nobody else on the left side. So I don't know. To me, I'm thinking that
Why are we not talking about the defense? Right?
What you just asked him to do.
Why are we not talking about the defense? Right?
Doesn't make you Superman. Like they put a crack that don't make you Superman. Like,
but I say top 10. I'm not saying top 1. I'm not saying he's McCarthy. I mean,
to be Patrick Mahomes.
No, I'm not. I want Dak. Listen. I want Dak to be Dak. That's what I want him to be. I don't want him to be like the top 1 and 2 quarterback. Just him being Dak that we know that he has.
What you're asking him to do with 3 starting O linemen now, 2 of them Hall of Famers, with that receiving core, with CD being taken away because CD only had 3 catches, right? So CD is being taken away from this game. So who you want him to go to?
I just told you.
How you want him to
like I said, a couple of those plays he could have ran it in on his own. What I'm saying, RPOs, man. Come on, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
If you want RPOs, that's coaching.
Okay.
If you want RPOs, that's coaching, and maybe we don't run RPOs. As much as we want to run RPOs like we did with Dak's rookie season, we have not done that since. And I don't think we're ever going to get back to that. It might come back here and there, but I already believe that that's just a no-no. Like, that they're not going to do that. We can look to see. Like, after Dak's second year in the league, we have gone totally away from Dak running the football and Dak, getting five.
I need that mindset to change. I need my.
That might not be adapting. That might be an organization thing.
And maybe, but that's what I said earlier. Then obviously this must be that he don't have the authority to make those changes, which they were saying, in which he said, I have more freedom to do what I want. Well, obviously something is not adding up because either you don't have that authority or you failing to take the opportunity to grasp hold to that authority and make things happen.
Is a professional. He's gonna say all the right things to protect the ship.
Yeah, he's been saying that stuff.
That might be the right thing, even though we know he's not, because we know we're gonna take that into controversy if we say, if he says no, I don't. I'm just doing whatever they tell me to do. That's going to spark no controversy from your starting quarterback. So Dak is not going to say anything controversial.
Yeah, that's true. I give you that. But I can only go by what he says, and he said he has more leverage. He has more authority. He has more freedom to do things, on field. Well, I haven't seen that, so I haven't. Maybe you guys have,
Yeah,
but I haven't seen it.
That's what leads me to believe that ain't true.
That's my point. So that's why I say he need to change his mindset. So forget what they're talking about.
But how can you change your mindset
No,
when you can listen?
no, he need to take it. He see what's on the field. He's out there. When it tapping his, on his headset, like, no, this is what I'm changing this to. I'm audible. I'm changing it right now. This is what we about to do. And I don't know. I mean, he got to take over, man. He got to take over. And right now, he's not doing it. He's not being that guy. And I'm sorry, we want him to be that guy, but he's not being that guy. And I need him to be that guy.
I think he will be.
Yeah, I think one. I don't know. I think yeah. Like Dak, that's the sad part. Dak's taking it on straight. Because look at Justin Fields, right? Look at Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Like everybody gives Justin Fields, a pass. They let Justin Fields, get away with a lot. Stuff like that could never get away with, right?
Well, that's because he don't play for the Cowboys. And you said that earlier when you started.
Those quarterbacks, like I don't know. It is what it is.
But I really don't.
Dak is still eighth in the league as far as QBR. So everything total, he's eighth.
And
so QBR? They got him ranked eighth best quarterback in the league. And when I look at it, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. So, what do you think is going to happen against Belichick tomorrow? Anyone?
Well, Belichick is good at taking your best players away. I do expect him to try to take Pollard away. I do expect him to try to take Lamb away. I don't think he could do both, and I think based on the Cardinals game, I feel like if they take away Lamb, that they have a better chance of winning the game. Especially when I look at the Jets game and the Giants game, and I see what Lamb did for the offense as being explosive and creating those big plays and quickly getting us in the red zone. Just like he did in the Cardinals game, he had a big 32-yard play to get us in the red zone, but we couldn't capitalize and we settled for a field goal. So I think their strategy should be take away Lamb, let them run all they want, and stop them when they get in the red zone because they can't score in the red zone anyway. And for them to run the ball, right now they're ranked 14th. So I don't know what our run defense is going to look like, but that would be my game plan.
Okay.
All right, so this is what I think. I think you guys are going to be like, what in the world, right? I think Dak's going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns this next game.
Yeah, you're right. I'm saying that. What?
I think he's going to score. I think he's going to throw 3 or 4 touchdowns this game.
Oh wow,
and,
3 or 4.
I think 3 or 4 touchdowns this
game.
So
minimum 28 points.
I think the offense is going to go back to its original thing. Everybody's going to be weirded out by it because everybody's expecting a low game. I think it's just going to be a high scoring game.
For both of us, or just for Dallas.
I don't think the defense is going to get back their woes because the fact is, they're gonna scheme open some players, right? And I don't think the defense yet has figured out. But I think when once these O lines gets back, I think they're gonna be good. O linemen get back, I think they're gonna be good. I think Udoga is gonna play better. He's gonna be playing better too, and I think that's gonna feel a little bit more comfortable with Udoga on the left side. I think they're going to neutralize Judon because Matthew Judon, and I believe I forgot his name. I think it's the nose tackle Paramore. Like they're pretty good, but like I think they're gonna the run game is going to be good. I think who's our running back? Our running back. I'm not trying to say it's not Felix Jones. Oh my God. who's our running back again? Tony Pollard. Sorry, Tony Pollard. I don't know why I'm thinking of Felix Jones. Tony Pollard is going to score. Is going to score at least 2 touchdowns. So one of them is going to be a pass from Dak. Another them is going to be a run. I think they're going to open up. They're going to open up this game, and Cooks and Lamb is going to go off.
So that's minimum 35 so far. Go ahead. I'm just adding up what you're talking about, but go ahead.
35. Like I can't see that this not being a low score game. I can see that this is going to be 35. They're going to be very comfortable in the last quarter to the point where people are going to be like, it's the tell of 2 games. People are not going to know what the Dallas Cowboys are at the end of this game. They're gonna just.
I don't think the Dallas know who we are right now.
I don't mind that, but Belichick this season hasn't given up more than 25 points, and he played the Eagles already. He played the Dolphins already.
The Dolphins.
And he played the Eagles and the Dolphins and didn't give up more than 25 points.
I get
and
it.
then he played the Jets. Jets, I don't really count.
I get it.
Yeah, but them Miami boys.
The Eagles and Miami.
Yeah, the Eagles, but them Miamis though. I'm not giving too much on the Eagles for 2 reasons. One is because I can't stand them, and 2 because I don't like them. So that's 2 reasons why I'm not giving them anything.
I think they are a pretty solid team, but I don't think that they're as good as they were last year. I don't think the offense is nowhere, shape, or form good as they were last year. You just don't get them on the 1 yard line because they're on 1 yard line, they're going to score a touchdown. You can't stop what they do on the 1 yard line. That's just impossible to stop. But besides that, I don't think that.
Okay, y'all say that, but what is their record?
Who?
They're 3-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
They're 3-0. They're putting up enough points to win every game. They put 34 against the Vikings. They put 25 against the Cardinals. They put 25 against the Bucs. All right. So what they doing something better than what we're doing. So.
Oh, that is true. But if you wanted me to give Philadelphia some points,
I'm not saying that they're not better than. I just say I don't think that they're as good as what people give them credit for.
Let's not slouch on their offense. But yeah. But that goes back to my point of I don't know if it's going to be high scoring because New England is looking at what they're putting out, what their tape's putting out. They are not giving up more than 25 points, and we already know what the Dolphins do.
yeah, we do.
I'll be surprised, and I'll actually like commend the offense if we can put up more than what the Dolphins and the Eagles put up. So
I don't even think that's the case though, right? I think it's just the match.
Yeah, it's a matchup.
It's a matchup. It has nothing to do with how. Like, yes, it does a little bit have to do with how good your team is, but it has a lot to do with the matchup, right?
I agree.
I just think that.
In the matchup, they just think that we can put up more points than the Dolphins because we don't have those type of weapons.
Right, but they were planning for those type of weapons, right? So you have. Look. You have
you say you have a Belichick. That's what you said. Regardless of the weapons, we have Belichick.
Right.
That's what you said.
You have
the matchup.
But that's what insane receiver in Tyreek Hill, and then you have like BC wide receivers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have Tyreek Hill, and we have Gallup.
Right. So this is what I think is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen.
Everybody on there is a weapon.
You said what?
I said the running back just went for 200 yards. I'm saying everybody is a weapon.
It's the Broncos.
He still went for 200.
I must agree with Joshua on that one. That is the Broncos.
It's a scary. No, don't get me wrong. Miami's a definitely better team than the Dallas Cowboys at this point.
Okay,
no way, shape, or form. I get it, right? But I think.
Okay, so that same running back on the Patriots went for 121 yards. So That's what I'm saying. They still got weapons at every
Are you talking about
level.
Philly?
No, I'm talking about the Dolphins
Oh
versus
yeah,
the Patriots. Just saying Dolphins and
the
Patriots.
Dolphins is just something different.
Yeah.
But you know what, Joshua, man, I'm going to this. Even though I'm gonna go against my thoughts, and I'm gonna take yours because yours sounds better than mine, and I say we're gonna score 35 points against this tomorrow. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go against.
You said we gonna score 35 points too? All right. Let
Look,
me snap everybody back to reality. Let me snap everybody back to reality. I think we'll win. I think it's gonna be like 25-20 around that ballpark.
look,
20,
yeah,
maybe
look. If we
28.
win, everybody wins. If the Dallas Cowboys wins, everybody wins.
So
But
you
look, I
think
would give
you
you
think
your
Daniel
props.
Jones will
I
get
would
up?
give you your props.
But look, if we put up 35, that means our offense did something exceptional because, well, like we're saying, like I'm saying right now, the Patriots defense have been pretty solid, so they haven't given up more than 25 points. So,
It happened a couple of years ago. I'm just saying it happened a couple of years ago.
but we're not talking about a couple years. We're talking about this season right now.
Right. I
What
understand.
everybody's doing right now.
I understand. And but I would have told you guys if I was in the States last if I was in the States last week, if I was in the States last week, I would have told you guys that the Cardinals beat the Cowboys like 5 out of 6 times, and I didn't believe that they were gonna I thought they were gonna win. Don't get me wrong. I thought the Cowboys were gonna win. But I would have been like, don't put your eyes on this is gonna be an easy game. I didn't think the Cardinals game was gonna be easy. But I do think though, while I don't think that the Patriots game is going to be easy in any way, shape, or form, but I do believe that the Cowboys are going to rally and they're going to. It's going to be a huge deficit between on the Patriots side, and it's going to be 35.
35 to what? Because Jordan said 20.
35, 23.
35.
I'm going to keep it even.
You say Mac Jones going to score 20 points against our defense because we're not going to figure it out yet. That's what you said. They're going to score. Okay, all right.
24 points on our defense. It's going to be like 35-24. They're going to score. He's going to throw. Matt Jones is going to throw an interception, right? But I don't want that to be an over. It's still. I don't think the run game is going to be figured out by then, But I do think it's going to be 35. 20, yeah. So 35-24.
I don't see Ezekiel Elliott and boys unless they're in the red zone doing anything on our front defense. I think this game, our defense is going to shine and go back to like how they were versus the Jets and the Giants because I feel like that's kind of where the New England team is, especially in terms of their offense. They're more in line with the Jets and the Giants. They only have one win on the season, which is versus the Jets. So I just don't think it'll be
24.
I do feel like our defense is going to get back in their groove, especially after last week. I'm pretty sure they're all pissed off. So that's ain't going to be good for Daniel Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah. I don't think that our offense is going to get. I think we're going to move the ball, but I think we're going to settle with field goals. I think it'll be kind of like the Jets game. If we do have a high scoring, I feel like it'll be 30 to like 15, maybe. If we do, if it's like considered a blowout, it'll be more so because we just move the ball and settle for field goals.
I'm telling you right now, we give Mac
year,
Jones more than 15 points. I'm gonna say we failed as a defense again. I'm sorry.
I believe this year.
More than 15.
I believe this year is the swan song of Bill Belichick. This year is. So I think he retires at the end of this year, and this is going to be this game's going to be more about Bill Belichick than it is the Dallas Cowboys.
Our defense should not be giving Mac Jones, Patriots, Belichick more than 15 points.
Right. I agree with that.
A good defensive squad, maybe 20. That's a good solid day. But I
100% agree.
Say what?
100% agree. 35-24.
I said 15.
Look, you said 15, right?
Can they give up 10 points? You said they can't give up 15.
No, I'm saying we should not be able to. We should not give Patriots more than our defense should not give up more than 15 points. That's me.
Oh, okay. Well, I said 15
Right.
points.
And right, 15
Yeah.
points, right? And they're still going to give up more than 15 points. 35-24.
Something went drastically
You're
wrong.
saying
We give up 24
I'm
points.
saying 15-30. That's all I'm saying. 15-30.
Well, that I can see that.
15-28.
See, I'm gonna have to take both of you, Joshua, because your defense score I don't like. So I'm gonna have to take Josh Jordan's defense score, then I'll take your offense score.
I know you don't like it, and you're going to be.
So I'm gonna say 35-15.
You, okay.
35.
And
But-
watch
but
it be 35-15.
Because you
Watch it be 35-15.
well, look, I'm not mad at it if it is, but yeah, I think it's a serious downfall if the defense that we have, even though we don't have Diggs, and people try to say that there's no difference in our defense if he's gone and he's there. That's crazy because the Pro Bowler,
Whoever says that, don't watch
he's
football.
good.
Oh, which reminds me, and that's another thing we needed to talk about.
On
Will
that,
Greer and Zeke Elliott are both on the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be very interesting because
even though Will Greer's not going to see any playing time, I don't think.
Yeah, no,
No,
unless
like,
Mac Jones get hurt.
it's not the playing time that you have to worry about. It's what they know about the game plan of the Dallas Cowboys.
What he's going to tell that offense? Run. Mac
Well,
Jones, just sit down.
but Belichick will do that. He will do that. He will run every dang down if he feels that that's their strength against us. He will make that change, which I like about him because that dude will make a crazy change and based on who he's up against. And that's what I thought which I said last week was that's what McCarthy. Everybody was saying that's what they're going to do. They're going to dictate the run versus the pass based on who we up against. But I didn't see that. But anyway,
All I'm going to say, you better respect Ezekiel Elliott. That's all I'm going to say.
Other than that, I don't really respect him outside of red zone. Like if they give up 100 yards to Zeke, that's gonna be crazy. Not saying Zeke can't do it, but
I said, yeah. Well,
like if you tell me Zeke picked up 5 first downs on third down, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll take that. If you tell me Zeke was in the red zone, he scored on us twice, I'm like, okay. But if you tell me like he had like 100+ yards on us and like 4 touchdowns on us, then I'll be like, I don't think Zeke's gonna do that.
no, he's not that. He's not that Zeke anymore.
Yeah.
That dude gonna
No.
get tired the first long run.
Yeah, 80 yards against the Jets. So I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Again, even though we seem to have a hole in our running game, again, I don't think our defense going to give up more than 15 points. I think we're going to. I have more faith in our defense making a change or a turn for this game tomorrow versus our offense making a turn for tomorrow. But I still take your point just because it just sounds better and it's in our favor of Dallas winning. So that's the only reason why I'll take that. Because the way we playing right now, to be honest with you, I mean straight up, and I hate. I don't want to be like knocking on wood or whatever the case is, being the bad news, whatever. I think the way I see us playing, I don't see us doing anything different. I don't see us,
Yeah, they're gonna have to surprise me.
Yeah, they're gonna have to prove to me. They're gonna have to show me, that this game was something. Say what?
I said the offense at least has to show us something. The defense, I think, can go back to being normal.
Yeah. I truly believe that. But our offense, nope, don't have no faith, man. I'm sorry. And
Zero faith.
Until zero. Until
Okay.
you're gonna have to show me. Then tomorrow, if you come back, see, Dad, I told you that Dak was gonna do this and do this and do
I'm not
that.
even going to say that.
No, you.
I'm
I'm hoping that you are able to say that.
You don't need to think it's
I'm
going to
surprised
be
too.
again going into this game. Going into this game because Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick, and looking at what he's done so far this season, I still feel like he's going to either take Lamb away or he's going to take Pollard away. The Cardinals had success with taking Lamb away and letting us run. I feel like Bill Belichick might say, "Hey, that looks like it worked." So that's why I think it's going to be.
Bill Belichick is a guy that will take your best weapon away.
Yeah.
So I hope that they have a lot of I hope they have a game plan for Cooks, because that's what I would do. I would my whole entire week would be, all right, Cooks, you're going to be the feature wide receiver.
Okay, look.
I mean, he played last game and he wasn't that, so I don't know.
Cooks is going to have 122 yards.
Wow. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Do it. Do it.
That doesn't mean nothing to me though. Like I can see him getting 122 yards, but we still only score like 28 points. Like,
okay, I can see that too.
see, we all on the same page here on that position, right? But again, if you come down to it, I mean, like Dak, who's I'm hard on right now, and he's gonna have to prove to me, and especially the red zone rules that we have. They're gonna have to prove. They're gonna have to show it to me because I don't have no faith, man. I don't have. I won't be surprised if we tie 15-15 and go and lead the game as 15-15. You know, because say what now?
I said I wouldn't be surprised about that either.
Yeah,
Eagles are losing tomorrow.
Who do you play against?
Commanders.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope the Commanders beat the brakes off of them. You know what I'm saying? I hope it be an embarrassment. I hope they score 71 points against the Philly.
That is going to be a scary thing.
I need to be very close.
No. I need them to be 71-10.
71-10.
Yeah, I want them to break Miami when they play against Philly. I want Washington to score 71 points.
You need to get out of fantasy land. You and Josh been in fantasy land a lot.
I want to go. I want to come back next week like, aha!
Look, I'm telling you, Commanders are going to win that tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping they do.
And that's another thing that we kind of talk about too. Is the Commanders look like they're starting to become a real team.
Taking away last week. Taking away last week. Yeah, you're right.
Taking away last week. Yeah.
I'm saying they're almost here. Maybe one more season. Maybe towards the end of this season, and then we really got to start looking at our squad, and seeing how that front office can make the squad better. Because
so who you got? Sam Howell over there.
Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a showstopper.
Right now, and I guess that's what our team has been consistently has a better roster from top to bottom than our rivals, right? But now it's starting not to look that way anymore. They're starting to catch up. What are we doing to keep our roster being superior? How is our coaching staff making themselves superior? Because you got to win your division to get to the playoffs. Unlike any other sport, I won't say any other sport, but that's kind of like what makes football in your division rivals so interesting, is because you need to win the division to get to the playoffs, and you just hope you can get a wild card spot, right? So the Cardinals are coming. The Eagles, they already went to the Super Bowl, so they're here. So I don't know. I don't know if this. That's why I'm looking at this offense, and I'm just like, I don't know what we doing, man. What we doing? Cooks.
Look, if speaking of Fantasyland, for all of you listeners, if you want to have a kicker, get Aubrey for this game.
See,
Oh God.
I know, right? That is just so sad. That is so sad, but true. But again, what I'm saying. So, all right, look, man, we're gonna have to wrap this up because we out of time here. But man, this is gonna be, I can't wait. What I'm saying. If you guys want to get on again tomorrow after the game, because it's gonna be a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
For sure.
I'm hoping, Joshua, man, you just don't know how bad I'm hoping you being right and tell me that I'm wrong, because I'd rather eat crow to you than eat crow to all of these crazy folks that I go to work with, because they're just waiting. They're just waiting because I do talk my share of trash. So, I'm just waiting to be able to say something. But yeah, even the Rams winning, what I'm saying, I'm like, geez, and that's, yeah. In San Francisco, I have a San Francisco guy at my job that both of them can't wait to give me something, some kind of a text. They just sent me one by Tupac Shakur the other day, what I'm saying. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. They found his killer, supposedly.
Yeah, but somehow they figured out how to make that as a Dak joke.
Wow, I don't even want to know that.
Before we got back to Super Bowl, 26 years. That's what I think that too.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Come on, man. But all right, wait, look, we did it again, and it was great. It's time for us to go ahead and wrap this up, man. Hey, we having fun, love it. You know what I'm saying? Love my boys, keeping it straight. And we're going to set it straight every time with fam over here. Now, if this is your first time seeing it, man, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. So we're going to be putting a lot on this. I'll share our point of view on the Dallas Cowboys this season. And we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it real. That's what we do. And before we go, we're going to do it like we started. And that's talking about that big question. And that question is, how about them Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Man, you guys take care. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.